We are pleased to welcome you to our BoostCamp presentation. On behalf of the BoostCamp team, I would like to thank the School of Code for giving us this amazing opportunity. I hope our presentation will be enjoyable for you.
Hi, my name is Adam. Having spent the past 2 years nurturing my creativity as a freelance designer, I am now looking to craft solid and scalable front-end products with great user experiences.
Hi, my name is Austyn. Before School of Code, I did a PhD in neuroscience, studying migraines and seizures. I joined School of Code because I wanted to improve my coding abilities for the tech industry.
I'm Conor. I recently graduated from an OU degree that I completed alongside full-time employment. Now I'm ready to step into the world of tech and achieve my childhood dream of developing software.
Hi, I'm Elena. As soon as I produced my first Hello World, I was hooked. I was eager to learn more, which is why I joined the School of Code. Currently, I'm a stay-at-home mum. Prior to this, I ran a children's fashion agency distributing designer clothes to leading department stores around the world.
My name is Richard, and prior to the bootcamp, I worked as an electrical engineer, and from that role I developed a deep passion for problem solving and technology that I am now hoping to transfer to a role within the tech industry.
Hi, my name's Vic. I wrote my first line of code only 4 months ago, as I wanted to sharpen my problem-solving skills using technology and computational thinking.
We were briefed with certain guidelines we needed to consider to resolve a problem. The main ambition was that we needed to bring the user to the centre of the project. This would allow the project to be successful. The School of Code introduced us to many principles during our time here by combining many of the methods we learned in bootcamp, and we would be able to find a solution to this yet unknown problem. Initially, we brainstormed various problems that we thought might exist. Our discussion emphasised the fact that problems don't always have to be solutions to negative things. Sometimes the solution can just be to improve what is already in place. After generating a variety of options, we graded them all. In the selection process, we looked at the 3 most popular choices. There was no question that the mental health and happiness area were important to our team. This was an area we wanted to find out more about. We looked at existing solutions and found them to be lacking. People often need encouragement to relax in the midst of their busy lives. Finally, we settled on the idea of developing an application to promote happiness at bootcamp. Each member of the team wrote down their interpretation of how they envisaged the happy idea we had been discussing. This was for clarification and to ensure we were all working towards the same objective. A happy application was a concept to be explored further to see if there was a market need for it.
I'm now going to take you through the journey that a user of our app would go through. So we start off at the landing page, which has some information on how to use the app. And if we scroll to the bottom, there is a button to download the app on Expo. Once we have downloaded Expo, as well as the application, and opened it, we'll be taken to the login page. So if we click register, then enter an email and password and click sign up, that will sign us into our personal version of the application. We have the option to choose between an on-screen or off-screen task. So let's go with an off-screen one in this case. We then have a choice of a short, medium or long task, depending on the duration of time that we have to complete it. So let's go with a short task for convenience. And that will take us to our task for the day, which gives us some instructions on how to complete it, as well as some of the benefits of this particular task. Once we are done with the task, we can rate it and then click complete, and that will take us back to step 1. When we finish with the application, we click the avatar in the top right corner in order to sign out. So as you can see, it's quite a simple and easy to use application. We would like you, if you have the time, to demo the app for yourselves. Just note that at the minute we only have it working on Android due to the cost involved of deploying it on the App Store. But feel free to give it a go and I hope you enjoy it. I will now hand over to Conor, who will run us through the development process.
Here you can see a retrospective view of how our project month shaped up, with each week covering our planning, our MVP, our second iteration of our MVP, and our final review, and we'll be walking through each of these in a bit more depth throughout the presentation. The journey started with us making key decisions about how we would work as a team. First of all, our manifesto. Here we set out the core tenets that our team would live by for the next 4 weeks, like agreeing on a majority vote to resolve conflicts, group ownership of ideas, and most importantly for us, that we would treat these 4 weeks primarily as an opportunity to develop ourselves and prioritise that over the finished product. Keeping to that, we decided that we would avoid having fixed roles for each person, and that we would all have a go at everything. We realised after some time that this may not be the most efficient way of working, but we all learned a lot from it. We then decided which methodologies and tools we wanted to make use of. We were keen to practice being an agile team, working in short sprints with stand-ups and retrospectives, pair programming, using a Kanban board, and having a rotating Scrum Master who would facilitate communication and collaboration each day.
So for the research project, we divided the understanding the problem into 3 different stages. In stage 1, we shared our personal experiences. In stage 2, we used a user research questionnaire and an A/B design. And in stage 3, we asked users for feedback on the applications. So in stage 1, when we're looking at personal experiences, we thought about things like, I know it's important to get outside, but it's hard to do. Some people said, I find it difficult to leave my computer while at the boot camp, and some people, felt guilty about this. So we decided that we're going to design 2 wireframes and have questionnaires about both the use of it and which one they'd like to use. And they determined, option B. And then in the final stage, we asked for feedback. So some people would ask, I need an option to log out. Some would ask, well, how do I clear my data on the app? Or the third person might say, I would like to have a friends list. And then we use this iterative process of asking a questionnaire and then getting feedback and for different features on the application.
As a result of our user research, we created a number of user stories that we believe reflect the needs of our users from an end-user perspective. These allowed us to stay user-focused by considering the needs of the user throughout the entire development process. Moving on from our research, we all came together to discuss and plan out the architectural structure for the MVP of our application. To do this, we used Draw.io due to its cross-compatibility and VS Code integration. Having planned out the application architecture, we knew exactly what routes and what contracts each part of the app would have, which let us move on to designing the UI of our app. Our user research showed that our users preferred a simple, uncomplicated UI. In respect of this, we opted for a clean, sophisticated aesthetic. For the last stage of our planning, we used Figma to create our wireframes and high-fidelity prototypes of our app. For one of our group brainstorming activities, we all had to go at creating a low-fidelity design of our app to then discuss with the team. This proved to be a great exercise for generating a lot of ideas very quickly and proved the value in diverse development teams. As we iterated throughout, we continued to create detailed visual plans. This was useful to check that the team shared the same vision, as well as having a visual reference to refer back to when working on the core functionality of our app. This then made it easy to divide into smaller teams, take ownership of individual features during sprints, and save time that may have been lost due to any confusion.
So I'll now run you briefly through our technologies that we used. So the landing page was created using the React framework Next.js, and we ran integration tests with Cypress to ensure that our components were functioning correctly. The front end of the mobile application was built using Expo, which is a convenient framework for making and deploying React Native applications. We then tested the user experience using various mobile emulators on both iPhone and Android to ensure that our UI was responsive and consistent cross-platform. The back-end API that is used to fetch the tasks was built using a Node and Express server hosted on Heroku, and we chose to go with a non-relational database due to the lack of interaction between the tables, or in our case, collections. In addition, we used various planning and design tools such as Figma for creating UI wireframes, Miro for brainstorming ideas, and Shortcut for assigning tasks. In terms of our workflow, we estimated the time we thought it was going to take to complete each task using story point poker and found the implementation was often taking more time than we expected. We found that by working on tasks in smaller teams and pair programming, we were able to be more efficient and took advantage of version control methods such as Git, branching, and pull requests to ensure the code base was understood by everyone. One of the problems we faced during the development stage was populating our database with tasks. Originally, we were adding tasks manually from the back end using request handlers, and that proved time costly and inefficient. To reduce the complexity of the task, we created a simple form on the back end that is linked to our database. This was a nice introduction to creating applications to make the development team's workflow more simpler and easier.
To let our team to learn from both successes and the failures, we had a final project retrospective. What we noticed that didn't go well was the practice of switching roles during the project. Initially, we planned to participate in each part of development. However, we found it more beneficial to review the code using pull requests, so we all are aware of the progress and have sense of ownership of the code. Time allocation could be better planned, as there were days when the team fell into the trap of digging too deep into details, and the solution for that was strict time limits for discussions. To mention an achievement we're proud of the most is the speed and willingness to learn new technology, and the fact that we used it straight away in our project. Our brainstorming and decision-making sessions went brilliant as well. We embraced the mirror board and used it as the main tool for it. Each of us had a chance to facilitate the meeting on rota basis and make sure that every team member is heard. If we had an extra week or month to continue our project, in terms of project management, we would establish more clear measurements of performance and success. In terms of features, based on feedback from our users, we'd add a reward system, analysis of collected data, and social interaction activities. We all agreed that overall, during this project, our experience was supportive, trustful, with right mindset and attitude to work. Thank you for watching.